Emperor Demon Dragon God Java, formerly known in Western releases as Red Falcon, is the first main antagonist in the Contra series. He was introduced in 1987 as the final boss of the arcade version of Contra. He belongs to the Red Falcon army, being its highest-ranking member in that game and the leader in command of the first alien invasion attempt on Earth in 2633 AD. He is actually identified as two separate entities. His head and upper body are known as Emperor Demon Dragon God Java, while his heart is known as Gameramo's King. In the original Contra, the game's final stage as a whole is considered to be the entire alien entity that is Java, with the hero first battling his head and then, at the stage's conclusion, his heart. Throughout the series, Java is usually depicted as a large worm or dragon-like alien head. He vomits an endless supply of bundles flying and persistent grub-like creatures that attack the player. The player is obstructed by a mount of immovable skull-like boulders and cannot progress to the next corridor until Java has been destroyed. In most cases, after Java has been destroyed, his body remains functioning, controlled by his still-living heart, which the player has to destroy. This alien organ is characterized for covering up an entire wall, pulsating rapidly as it provides life to the rest of the biomass. This alien usually has a set of alien eggs surrounding it on both ground level and ceiling as a last means of defense and offense against potential threats, which release an unrelenting horde of scorpion-like creatures. Emperor Demon Dragon God Java is an enormous worm-like alien creature that in 2633 invaded planet Earth. He was the commander of the intergalactic army known as Red Falcon in that campaign, being its highest-ranking member. However, it was later revealed that the real purpose of this invasion was actually not to conquer the planet, but to retrieve an artifact of great power that had been stolen by the humans from a shrine belonging to them on Jupiter. Java and his army came to Earth inside a giant meteorite that crashed near the Galuga archipelago. They took control of the largest island and brainwashed the local military force so they would do their bidding. The Federation sent 2 commandos from the Contra task force to infiltrate and stop the invading forces. Their names were Bill Reiser and Lance Bean. Both soldiers alone successfully managed to neutralize the controlled local army and the aliens, and ultimately breached into their nest, which happened to be a gigantic biomass that actually conformed Java's own body. After successfully defeating Java's upper body, they delved further inside his organism until they reached his still-living heart, which after one last and desperate struggle, was also destroyed. Other invasion attempts commanded by other alien leaders followed after this defeat, with Java included within their ranks, although never again seen having a commanding role over their forces. Java made his first reappearance in Contra 3, The Alien Wars, where he appears as one of the many mini-bosses that are fought throughout the last stage. While both of his form's head and heart do appear, and the level's layout is similar to that from the first game, he is neither a primary antagonist nor does it necessarily mean that his heart is providing life to the rest of the biomass. In fact, no plot involvement was given to him in any of the sequels, being relegated to appear only as a recurring mini-boss, which could imply the possibility that he is just an individual of an entire species of giant worm-like alien creatures. Contra Hardcore continued to reimagine Java's appearance through dramatic alterations, this time being much more mobile and somewhat resembling either a fish or a frog, and as such, having visible eyes for the first time, and now bearing a more developed and much longer arm. He appears as a mini-boss near the end of the Alien Space optional final stage. This could imply that this is a different species or subspecies of Java created through genetic tampering from Colonel Bahamut's inexperienced team. In Contra Shattered Soldier, there are 2 incarnations of Java. Gluttonous Agogo, a giant eel-like alien encountered in the city stage that spends most of its time eating shredded meat, completely independent of a heart. Tissue Helminth, a long earthworm-like creature fought in the archipelago stage that was the result of Lance Bean fusing with an alien embryo that he somehow implanted into his body. The reason why these 2 creatures look different from one another is probably because they represent different species under a singular genus, or perhaps 2 different species that could possibly share a connection to the original ancestral Java.